of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Live from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA. This is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Well, hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Ezra Parter, Evan Liu, Jackie K, and Brendan Vogt. We are here to talk about the Colorado Avalanche. We've seen some news come in today as the Avalanche have extended Sam Malinski. So, of course, we will be talking about that. And we have Gabe Landeskog back on the ice. Just a wonderful day to be talking about the Colorado Avalanche. This is the 127th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. Please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material. And, of course, head to Hockey Mountain High as well, where you can see the works of Evan Liu and Brendan Vogt. So plenty to talk about today. We also have some bold predictions, unfortunately, that we have to hash out. I say unfortunately because of mine. And then we will look a little bit around the league and a little bit ahead at what the Avalanche have in store ahead of the Olympic break. So thank you to the four of you for joining me today. And as usual, these last few weeks, I'm going to start with you, Ezra. Let's talk about Sam Malinski and his 4-year by $4.75 million extension. First off, tell me what you've seen from Sam that has warranted this extension.
I think I'm having a little bit of a connection thing where I didn't quite hear your question, but I knew it was about Sam Malinski, and I'm excited to talk. I think it's wonderful that they got him locked up. I know going into the season, we were all like, Malinski, he's got a year left, he's trade bait, and it all made sense. But he's just played so well that he's proven that he needs to be a part of the future, and I love that. I really like his play. I like what he's done, serving as the Devon Taves replacement on the top pair. And the deal itself is, it may seem expensive in terms of what we think of for defenseman deals from the last 5 years or so for a guy who's probably at best a second pair defenseman, maybe even long-term a third pair defenseman, but under $5 million for a guy going forward with the way the cap rises or is going to rise is going to look pretty good, I think, in the next coming years. And yeah, I'm pleased to see it. I really am. I think, there may be some repercussions of the deal down the road that with roster construction that we'll see what happens. But just in terms of Malinski, thrilled.
Yeah, same here. I mean, kid's put up career year numbers wise in terms of points. He already blasted past his previous assist total career best. He's 2 goals short of his career high in goals, which I feel like this sort of extension may spur on a little bit of a heater potentially. Sometimes it has the opposite effect, but I'm hoping it has the effect where Malinski gets on the board and he does in fact pass that goals mark. Although it doesn't really matter. Like what we're seeing from the Sam Malinski experience is a lot like what we saw in the Logan O'Connor one, which is an undrafted guy that the Avalanche go and get out of the NCAA, who seems to develop and pan out inside of whatever it is the Avalanche are doing that is called their development system. So I think it's a good sign in terms of that. Brendan, you chuckle when I mention the development of players in this system. Do you see Sam as kind of a shining light in an otherwise dark and dreary land?
Well, I say development. You say development system. It's called trading away all their picks and then picking up, having Kevin McDonald sign all the college kids. That's what it is.
Yeah, so
it's
they're
really
developing
called
in
having
college.
1 year waiver exemption. That's what it's really called.
Yeah. So it's your guys are saying they're targeted because of the structure of their contract and what it enables the teams to do.
Yeah.
Well, it
And
also forces their hand. It
Yeah.
means they have to commit. You don't have 5 years to screw around and put guys on the back burner. It's like when that waiver exemption was up, he had to be on the team. So that kind of forces your hand.
That, and when I initially talked to Malinski when he got on the team, he said he had a couple suitors on the to get signed to initially, and the big factor was one, the desire to win with both the Eagles and the Avs. He knew he was going to the Eagles right away, but the fact that also Steinberg was playing, Steinberg kind of talked him into like, hey, you gotta sign here, because they were roommates in college.
Well, I remember the off season before, and it was like he was getting penciled in for the Eagles, and it was like, no, they're not going to waive him.
No. And then he said that the coaching staff was a big deal at the Eagles, because Cronin had actually personally called him and was recruiting him and things like that, and then Cronin ended up getting picked up by the Ducks and ended up leaving, and so Sneaklock was the one who ended up coaching him. But it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out, and I get the whole development thing is kind of like maybe not as big of a factor with a guy you get out of the NCAA, but that is where he developed in certain regards, is in the NCAA, and it's not the first time we've seen it. I mean, look no further than the other defender whose contract, a much bigger contract extension in a lot of different ways, will be coming in the direction of Cale Makar, who also did all of his development in college. Obviously, Makar's not like a replicable model per se, but it is nice to see that the Avalanche, for whatever reason, are at a minimum good at identifying guys that could potentially work inside their system right out of that college atmosphere. We've seen them try it in other situations where it hasn't worked. So it's nice to see Malinski come out and get, I guess rewarded is the best way to put it, because he's played really well, better than he's ever played, specifically this season. So Brandon, go ahead.
And Vagley's got a good point. Makar only stayed 2 years. Technically, Malinski played 3 years but was enrolled in school with 4.
Sure.
The Ivy League didn't participate in any college activities for athletics because
that's right. You've told us about this.
I mean, he was 25 years old. That's why he didn't even sign an ELC. Like he was 25 years old when he signed.
So the 2021 season, he played absolutely no games. He did all gym. That's all he did for that whole season. And that is the worst thing to do.
Yeah. Well, Evan,
it was shaking his head. Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Evan, I'm curious to see what you think, because early on in the Malinski arrival, I mean, he's kind of been playing since, I guess, 2023, I suppose, if you consider that year playing, but he's always shown like little flashes where he does kind of look like Cale Makar. But I think that this season, what we've seen is more of like a buy-in to kind of the lunch pail version of Sam Malinski, which is like the hardworking, retrieval, defensive-oriented side of things that have really come to the surface, as well as, of course, career highs and points. But that's what jumps off the ice for me. Is that what you see as well?
It's a great deal, yeah. And I think we've kind of seen this, I guess, growth and development over time. We've seen late bloomers, from time to time, and this is a good one. Like, I'm really happy with this deal. They're finally committing to him. I know Jackie has kind of touched on it in the last few years that they keep signing him to 1-year deals. Are they actually going to commit? Is it just going to be trade fodder, at the end of the trade deadline? Now it's not going to be, right? Because the first 2 years of this contract are he's committed. I think there's a no move clause or no trade
still
clause.
Move him before it kicks in.
They still could, but I doubt they do that.
I know. I'm sure that's not the plan.
They're already short of defenders anyways, and Brendan's going to kill me for this, but I don't like the call up that they made today. So but I have an interesting, I guess, stat that I'm taking from Megan Angley, who posted about a week ago when Malinski passed our good old friend Bowen Byram in franchise games played with the Avs. And that was a week ago on January 21st. And Megan said there's a 14-point difference in their points totals in their Avs tenure, by the way.
So that's interesting.
I like to point out that Byram hasn't missed a single game with Buffalo.
Not bad. And I guess you could kind of call him the new coming of Bowen Byram, I guess, if you wanted to put that.
I would disagree with that. I think we're getting a little fanciful here.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Hold on. My point is that he is a good, solid defender who is now, I guess, in the system at the right time. Byram, I would say that he was at the time too. I would say that he was the right defender at the time. But then they obviously moved for Middlestat and tried to fill a different need that I think arguably was more needed at the time. And I agree now, but that was a mistake, right? I think we can all kind of say that at this point. But I don't know. My point is that I really like this signing and that Malinski is fitting in really well, and that they've committed to him, and that a 4 by 4.75 is a pretty good cap hit. For someone who I think could be Sam Girard-esque a little bit and prove to be some good value down the line.
Yeah, I dig it. And no, not to get too combative here, but Jackie, I will say that in Bowen Byram's first 3 years with the Avalanche, he wasn't exactly available. So I understand.
And how old was he too?
Sure, but I would go as far to say, like, I'm looking at it now, Malinski has more points in his first 3 seasons with the Avalanche than Bowen Byram did. So if we're going to go there, I don't hate that comparable in the sense of how he fits inside of that defensive group. But Jackie, I'm curious how you feel, because Evan's right. You've talked about like commitment a lot, especially with these guys that are, fringe, like RFA, UFA guys. Does this feel like a level of commitment that you were hoping for? Is it more expensive than you think they could have gotten it if they had done it sooner?
Oh, for sure. Over the summer, like if you look at what his projection was with 2 or 3 years, it was 1.8 million. So it's definitely a lot more. It feels a little bit like the Netchas deal, where it's like you had to do it. You missed the boat where it could have been affordable, and then you just had to make a decision to keep the guy. And so I'm going to say it's the right decision. If you have talent, you need to keep them. You also need to pay for them. So we'll see what the ramifications are down the road. I think a lot of people are writing their Sam Girard think pieces as we speak.
Yes.
It could be more Brent Burns is the casualty.
Interesting.
So yeah, they had to pay up for the commitment when they failed to make a commitment earlier. It was just getting more expensive by the minute. My comparable was going to be Broberg, got $8 million, and that's over a long-term deal.
Yeah.
But if you look at their number of games played, their production, pretty similar. So that would have been an interesting comparable moving forward. I
Mhm.
think the Avs love having less terms. So the fact that he was okay with that, I think probably got this deal done. I think if Malinski had insisted for long term, there might have been a problem.
Sure.
So good for them to find a sweet spot for him to stay here, for it to be affordable, ish in within context affordable. We
Mhm.
know the cap's going up and contracts are going up, but there's going to have to be cuts made moving forward, and we'll see what those
Sure.
cuts are. The funny thing is that him filling in for Devon Tays means that he's only scored 2 points this calendar year, so he's doing his best Tays impression,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of funny.
That is funny.
Like we talked about, it's not just about points. If he doesn't score another point the rest of the year, I'm sure people would still be happy with the contract and the fact that he's sticking around. I just think, that's kind of a funny comparison there. He could cool down, we're not quite sure what consistent points that we should expect from him moving
Sure.
forward. So, like I joke that he could still be traded. What they need to do is they need more defense.
Mhm.
So I don't think even Girard is getting moved. They need more defense, not less. Especially if they think they're going to win the Stanley Cup. You can't start with replacement level players in your lineup. Like, it is a war of attrition. You're going to have 2 real defensemen left if that's what you do.
Mhm.
So they're only going to add, not subtract.
Might I add that they did play 2 rounds without Sam Girard in 2022. So
and they had Byram
and Jack Johnson. Yeah,
they know how to play without him.
They
know how to play without him when they have another player. Yeah, exactly.
The other thing is that St. Louis series is probably the toughest series. He scored in that series. People like to forget. They think that, Girard was completely irrelevant. They didn't need him. Well, they needed him to beat the toughest opponent and toughest round.
No. She's saying other people have made that point that Girard not being around for the Cup final somehow diminishes his role with the team, which I have always said is absolute blasphemy. Of course, would he have wanted to be out there for the next 2 rounds? Yes. Would it have helped? Also, yes. So it's just crazy.
You need as much as you possibly can. Who knows?
Exactly.
Maybe this Tays injury is going to be chronic. We don't know.
Right.
There's a whole lot of other reasons why you need more defense. They're going to add more, not take away from defense.
Let's start that conversation, Ezra, about implications. Sorry, Evan.
No, I think I know exactly where you're going, and that's what I was going to bring up. Anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about the implications of this signing, which you already mentioned, Ezra, too. Like, the crosshairs kind of do move to Girard. They still feel pretty set on Ross Colton, and it still feels like this group is definitely a left-handed defenseman away still, and potentially a third line center away as well. How does this affect that? And then, of course, also the Cale Makar deal. Where does that land in all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, if I'm the GM, I'm doing everything I can not to move any pieces off when I add somebody to this roster. But I am looking to add. Colton's been the target of a lot of talk because of the price point for a third liner, which really is where he slots in if everybody's healthy. But you're not going to have everybody healthy. So in an ideal world, you manage to keep everybody and just bring in a left-handed defender in a center. And I think that's not impossible. And I have to imagine that is the intention. Now, long term, this deal does mean that something is going to change on the back end going into next season. We mentioned Brent Burns earlier. I think realistically, if the Avs were to win the Cup this year, Brent Burns retires, and that's not an issue. If they don't win and he wants to come back, then that's a conversation they have to have. And frankly, I think he can't come back. If they don't win, he's going to be a reason. He's just slow. Games where he's exposed look really bad. Games where he's playing well are great. So I think that part of it might solve itself. But if the Cale Makar extension is going to cost enough money where somebody has to go, it seems like it would have to be Girard at this point, because Malinski is, as we've said, kind of the Girard dupe at this point. But
I feel like where the Girard conversation comes is his extension.
Yes.
I just still don't think that they get better or it makes sense to trade him. But going down the line where I do think there needs to be a decision is if they're going to re-sign him.
Exactly. And I think that's what we look at, right? You've got your replacement for Gerard essentially locked in at around $5 million now, 4.75 for Malinski. And if you are looking to upgrade a second pair or even a top pair, if Devon Toews is aging and needs to move down the lineup, you need a lefty to play with either Makar or Malinski or even Josh Manson. And that lefty isn't going to be Gerard long term, then moving Gerard ahead of his expiration to acquire that guy, or acquiring that guy and separately moving Gerard ahead of his expiration would make sense.
Yeah.
I've always been
think
team
it could
Gerard, but it makes sense.
It could be affordable to keep him though. I think people
It could be.
underestimate that too.
Yeah, he seems like a guy who should get an extension and a raise, but the way his offense has petered off, maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's probably what they should have anticipated with Devon Toews, with the number that they came to as a potential fall off offensively, which is very much the norm with defenders as they age. And we've seen it look no further than Mr. Brent Burns, who also plays for the Colorado Avalanche. Used to be a forward. So that's kind of the arc for these guys. I will say, like, this movement down in the bottom with Solovyov getting traded. Then we see another domino fall with this Malinski extension. And we're talking about potentially shuffling Gerard out ahead of his maturation contract. And Brendan, you shook your fist at Evan when he denounced the call up of Keaton Middleton today. Is it really like this is my question to you. They can't really be thinking Jack Ashawn and Keaton Middleton can carry the weight, right? There has to be more.
No. Well, okay. So I did write an article on who's expendable, and that is already up on HockeyMountainHigh.com. So everyone can check that out. But I shook my fist because I've seen how hard Keaton Middleton works. I've seen the difference in his game from last year to this year, and how much of a difference it has done. 2 years ago, he had over 165 penalty minutes in something like close to 70 something games. And for the Eagles right now in almost 40 games, he is sitting at 25 minutes.
Doesn't that mean that he's not being big tough, not getting into fights?
No, he's fought once, but he's learned how to be rough, but not draw penalties, which is good because they taught him that when he was up with the freaking Avs last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how to be tough and still not sit in the box for it, which is showing at the AHL level. And I can only appreciate that much more about him. Yet, is he an awkward draft sometimes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have accepted him on the roster instead of the whole Solovyov experiment. So
yeah,
I mean, it is
sure
what it is
what
at
was
this point. But I mean, it doesn't really matter what replacement level guy they're using. They're just patching through until they're making whatever move it is they're making. So whatever. I mean, it could have been a mod. Totally. It could have been a tard, whatever. I mean, does it really matter? No. So I just think it's funny they're making the guy fly from Palm Springs to Ottawa. Like, that's an easy commercial flight to have, especially when half the country's airports shut down over the weekend.
Not to mention the weather.
Hey, I know that.
Just going.
I'm sure that travel experience is wonderful, but he'll be compensated his $5,000 or whatever for it. So we're not going to feel bad for him. But I find that hilarious. Like, they knew the whole Taze was close thing. That part was hilarious. Okay, the guy couldn't even take contact today, and you said he was close last week. I mean, come on.
They said he would potentially play on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, that was all a joke. So, so you knew that you were going to need somebody. I don't know. I just find it ridiculous, but
Well,
whatever.
my
Shout
guess
out
is
Palm Springs, my hometown before Colorado. Shout out
Yeah.
Palm Springs, California.
my guess
So-
is that they probably had him fly out right after the Ontario game, so he flew out from LA.
I mean, they called him up today. Technically, I don't think he could have moved until today. I guess it depends how many rules you want to break, but technically you can't go until you're called up, and he wasn't called up till today.
Well,
maybe
Evan-
he was visiting family in Canada.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
He
he
does
does
really
have
nice
a-
art installation out there in Ottawa that he needs to get his eyes on before possibly purchasing it. I mean, what are we talking about?
Exactly. He just so
He's
happened
called
to
for-
take his 2-day vacation up north. I mean, come on.
Mid snowstorm. Evan, are
Right.
you some sort of sick, demented individual that you moved from Florida to Colorado and then to
Florida.
No, California.
California?
California.
I promise you, there's a Palm Springs.
There's probably a
Cal-
Palm
Florida.
Springs, Florida. Yeah.
But you moved from the sunny beaches of California to Colorado, and now you're on the grossest northeast part of the country. Are you?
I didn't
do
get
you
it.
have
Okay. I didn't get a choice
problem?
in the first move. Okay. I didn't get a choice in the first move. I was 8 years old. I kind of got a choice in the second move, and whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, here you are wearing 2 jackets.
I
On
know,
the
it
podcast.
feels like
Where he
making me
lives,
feel bad. I
honestly,
just want you to
that's
know that.
actually pretty. It's a very pretty part of the country. People don't they underestimate
Oh, I believe it.
Okay, hold on.
Well,
We're getting
Evan,
sidetracked, and I want to touch.
I cut you
on
off,
this.
so
yeah,
do your thing. Yeah.
I want to touch on this Sam Girard being expendable piece. If Sam Girard has no fans left, then I am dead. That's just the point of this. They should not move Girard. They have to find a way to make him fit because he's just so valuable. Him and Malinski are basically, they're paired together really well, right, on a back line, and that's something that the Avalanche should really try to keep a hold of. I think you are much better off trying to move someone like a Ross Colton or trying to find somebody who can play, I guess, similar-ish to Jack Drury, where you can get good value and someone who can kind of grow into a third liner, I guess. If it's not saying that this is going to happen, but someone like a Yoel Kiviranta, who is a veteran fourth liner that's always played, yada, yada, yada. You don't think he can do anything else moving up. But if they can find someone like that and make him a third liner or even higher, great. Right. Yeah. And I think that's something that they can find or have a better chance of finding on the open market, on the trade block, something like that, rather than another valuable defender like a Girard. So I think that this is something. I think that's something that the Avs really need to focus on is keeping Girard. Obviously, the Cale Makar situation, you have to pay Cale Makar what you have to pay Cale Makar, right? If that means they have to lose Girard, then that's unfortunately just an unfortunate business. I know it's just an unfortunate business at the end of the day. And then we could be talking about this in 2.5 to 3 years when Malinski, maybe
Girard just got traded.
So, are you kidding me?
No, just joking.
Oh my God, Brennan!
Okay, then we need to mute him for a little while.
Yeah, you're going in the penalty box. Penalty box.
My God,
I think this is worthwhile to talk about. Who we're into the month before the trade deadline, so this stuff's all relevant. Plus, the Avs will probably do their shopping early. I wrote about the Avs trade chips today, so and Ross Colton was the headline there, and I think I don't know. It seems like the service is just because he's paid the most or whatever of all their somewhat expendable pieces, but like they've never found a fit for him. Benner doesn't like him at center. Him playing on the second line, that very much felt like a trade showcase.
Yes.
He hasn't scored a goal since November. Some of that is bad luck, sure, but I think it's more than just could they stand to lose him. It's that I think they need to upgrade on him. If they're going to focus their resources, that's where they should focus it. And I see people say, well, Jack Drury's a great 3C, but you're winning the cup if he's a 4C. That's the point. It's not that he can't handle it or he's not okay in the 3C. It's about what is going to win you the cup is
That's
how
fair.
they should approach things. So you need upgrades. You need better than the next Kiviranta.
You
And
know
yes,
who's going to win the cup?
Brett
Marchand.
Yeah. Hold on. I just want to point out on this comment that vaguely made. I was hoping for Carson Soucy, but it looks like he's headed to the Owls. That is true.
I'm sure they'll find another veteran.
Yeah, I was gonna say something along those lines would probably be the way to go for the Avalanche. I don't know if I would have wanted Carson Soucy. Like, that one's just like to me. But something like that will obviously help the Avs because they need defense. They cannot ride with Keaton Middleton and Jack Ashawn or Whiteamont. They can't do that. It's just not.
I have a question for anyone who can answer it or wants to. Do we think that there's enough value and enough equity in the bottom 6 to afford a 2 players for one sort of thing, with the 2 of them coming out of the bottom 6, with Kiviranta, with Bardakov, Brindley? I mean, I know Logan O'Connor would make this question maybe a little more feasible, but like, because my biggest fear is that the Avs really don't have many bargaining chips to do much at the deadline, and that those guys are going to go to the highest bidder. They're not going to go to like, oh yeah, okay, well, you want to play for the Avs, like we'll do you a solid. No, like at the deadline, those teams try to cash in. Sure, there'll be some veteran guys that maybe get that treatment, but even in those instances, like they're going to get the most they can. So I guess my question is, do the Avs really have any assets to acquire someone to really move the needle in that center group?
I have one guy that could be moved, and I don't like me saying this, but Gavin Brindley.
I just don't see him having that much value. Like, if you look at NHL games played, you look at the production, I mean, what are you really going to get for him? So he's just so much more valuable for the Avs to keep. I hope they find him a role that makes sense. I just don't see that him by himself is going to make any kind of difference. That's the other reason why Colton, I think, is such a popular name, because he does have some value. He, with only 2 years left on his, or is it just 1 year left on his contract? That's when you start getting the attention of other teams. He obviously has the experience, the history. You just, these, like Bardakov, nobody's paying for Bardakov. Like Brindley, maybe a little bit more, not a whole lot more. So I agree with Adrian. Like, you're not going to get much for these guys. I think, I don't know, you might have to package a bunch of things. I mean, in my article, I wrote probably the 2027 picks are the most valuable for the Avs to move out, because they really don't have anything this year. Like, they're 4/7. That's not getting them anything. That's probably going to be their draft class is 4/7. That's probably what's going to be left.
Colton's got the obviously this year and then next year, and then he's a UFA.
Yeah, I was thinking, I guess my Brindley pick, I'm thinking of Brindley and Ross Colton, because we've seen what Brindley has done, right? And I hate to say that he's kind of disappeared, I feel like, as of late. Like, even in Toronto, like, when I was in Toronto on Sunday, I didn't even, like, I saw him maybe twice.
Because you weren't looking for him. Because
what was the game that he was setting everybody up? What game was that? All the games were together. There was that game where he was setting everybody up, but like the fourth line when he's on the garbage bag line, that's just nothing. Like, it's just a complete waste of space and time and everything.
Against Anaheim, he only played 6 minutes and 48 seconds. In Toronto, he played 10. And that 6 minutes came after getting 14 against Washington.
I mean, I would say he's certainly not untouchable. I mean, if he's what makes a deal happen, then whatever. But
well, look no further than last year. I mean, and I've seen a lot of mock trades coming from other sides of the aisle who are trying to acquire these guys like Gavin Brindley and Ross Colton. And usually they are coupled together with a pick in exchange for someone, whether it's Nazem Kadri or somebody has made on cap wages. So it's like, I think that really is kind of their only package that is going to draw, like I said, a needle moving type of talent in the center group. But then it comes to back to the question of, well, isn't this whole thing about depth? And so it is going to be kind of a balancing act for this Avalanche management group in terms of making sure they're deep enough, but also making sure they're talented enough. That is the job, right? But in this instance, they're a cup contender. So it's not just about finding the right balance to be a successful team. It's about finding the right balance to win the whole thing. And that looks different in the regular season than it does in the playoffs. And that's why there's so much unrest inside of a fan base who's lost very few games this year, because
I do want to put it on
things
record
being done in an effort to change what happened, even though can't really find out until April.
I do want to put on record my sneaky trade chip is Ivan. Now, same thing with Brindley. He's not moving the needle by himself, but I think they definitely called him up and definitely played him at center for some sort of showcase. And he has enough NHL experience, almost 50 games, that it means something. It's a little bit of validation, a little bit of value there, more than just all the other AHLers. Like, all the other AHLers don't have value. But when you're getting close to 50 games, that can pique the interest, like just how the Avs sold Ben Myers a couple years ago. He had same
good
kind
bit
of
of business
there.
There, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's
okay.
just what the difference is. People would say, well, why would he have value over the others? It's because of the validation of how many NHL games he's played.
My thing with Myers was that he was great at the AHL level and then would just completely disappear at the NHL level, but that's just me.
Well, he was never any good at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Well,
think go ahead, Ez.
Well, I was just going to say with Ivan, I mean, he's a guy who clearly has the talent and the like mental acuity for hockey to play at the NHL level, but he just hasn't had the consistency in his work rate that Bednar requires for a bottom six guy. And I think that's the kind of thing where you're like, hey, he could fit somewhere else, but here he doesn't fit. So he makes sense as a trade target to me, or as a trade piece to me. I just was looking over, and sorry, Adrian, if you were gonna move us on to something else, but I was just looking over briefly the list of available defenders to acquire. Theoretically on a trade board, there might be other guys who are out there, but beyond Carson Soucy, it's pretty desolate market. So I would expect the defense side of things to be like a true like a Ben Hutton, like just a guy who is a Jack Johnson type, really. Like nothing that's going to be expensive in any sense of the word. It's the center spot where, there might be a real upgrade, which I think we've already kind of covered, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. Like if I had it my way, and it's an ideal situation, you get someone plenty serviceable via the waiver wire for that role.
Sure. Yeah, hard to do when you're 32nd on the waiver list, but yeah.
Sure, but easier to do when you're picking up like the old guy who wants to give one last shot, but who can kind of hold it down left-handed in that 7D role. I mean, look no further than Jack, Yeah,
there is one guy who fits that description who's on an expiring contract for a bad team, and it's Ian Cole, but I'd be surprised if he came back.
Yeah, that would be weird. I think there was a little bit of a kerfuffle in the room that involved Cole.
I'd be surprised if he came back.
Yeah, so that's speculation though. So don't take that for reporting. Brennan, what's up?
You know who could be trade bait? He hasn't gotten a call up this year yet, but is Prishy. He's got
to do it. He's got to show it at the NHL level first.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think if we're bringing the three players,
get a call up in order to do that. But he's been playing really well at center, not wing, at center.
Yeah,
because he got moved to center.
Well, this is why I asked about that group, because it does feel like the Avs have a lot of forwards in that area who are bottom six guys with potential who just need ice time. But this isn't that team. Like Ezra's pointing out, this isn't that team. That's
and the thing
Seattle.
And
but it's never this team. Like
That's
there's
just not the
always a
model here.
reason.
Yeah,
they're
It's not the model
not
here.
going to get ice time. It's not like we're in January they're going to start playing the Eagles up here because they stink.
Mm-hmm.
And the Avs are making plans for Vegas because this all sounds so familiar from years past.
I mean, they have it
Right.
so locked up that they have the luxury of doing that. That's the other thing is you'd say like, oh, this team is way too good to have anybody play on it. The other thing is this team has almost nothing to play for the next 3 months. So wouldn't that be the perfect time to do it? Where then you actually have more seasoned and ready depth. Like it's always the excuse. It's like, oh, we're making a playoff push. Every game matters. It's unless you're like a 50-point team, there's always an excuse of like, well, we're trying to be better. We're trying to win. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. Like,
I hear you. I just don't think it's
play
an
who you
excuse.
want.
I think it's an organizational mentality. It's not. It's not an excuse. They're not seeing it as like we have to sell this. It's like no, this is what we do. And I know you don't like it, Jackie, but I like. There's value to being a team that is always on. We are trying to win at all times, and it is the mindset that leads to a guy like McKinnon playing the way he is, or everything else we've seen from this team this year.
And
It
it's really funny.
also
and it draws certain
continues
players too.
undermining your depth, and we'll see if they have enough or they don't.
It's also
It's a
really
risk
funny, though.
reward. Yeah.
It's also really funny though that the Avs have played probably about 500 or so in the last few weeks because that homestand was not great, which we haven't really touched on yet. That homestand, longest one of the year, was not great.
Yeah,
they
fans
lost 4
were
out of 7.
flipping out. I was like, guys, chill out. This team is perfectly fine. We are in good shape. With that being said, though, that game in Toronto on Sunday was a very good get right game, and they played really well from start to finish. And Brock Nelson hat trick, of course, is rocking and rolling, and just what's that tweet that's been going viral? He's like wheezing his way into the Olympics right now. Wheezing, old, tired. Yeah.
Well, you know what it was for the Toronto game is that they just needed to get away from their families.
That's what I was gonna say. It's too much family time.
Too
many
time.
diapers.
I love that narrative, but I will say the first period in Philadelphia and Toronto against Philadelphia and in Toronto looked almost identical. It just worked in Toronto, so I don't know how true that is.
Well, they were also down.
Things fell off without in Philadelphia against Philadelphia for sure, but.
Well, it
I
kind of
felt
looked
like they
like
were
that in
drinking
December.
brewskis before the game against Philadelphia. They just brought the 2001 team into the room with the cooler and called it cool. Yeah.
Well,
it kind of looked like that in December. Just they were winning in the third period.
The crazy part is I was saying that the team is struggling for the Philadelphia game, and I got a lot of crud for that. And it's like, do you not realize that we've lost 3 out of 6 of the games in this homestand? I mean, come on, guys. That to me, that's struggling.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Avs fans are spoiled. We are very spoiled on a night-to-night basis, and when you don't win, you're going to hear about it. And
it's funny because it's funny because the Lightning move ahead of the Avs on a lot of power rankings in this time frame that we're speaking of, and while they do that, they're still 9 points behind the Avalanche.
They're not even first in the Atlantic Division. I don't know what these power rankings people are doing.
Yeah.
I think I saw one Athletic quote that was like, "We're bored of the Avalanche being first. We put someone else in front."
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's just dumb.
Well, they're bored too. They're bored too. Like
hard-hitting analysis.
It's where the whole the regular season is just pointless. Like, of course, until they actually are threatening to slip down the standings, then it doesn't matter, right? Like, who cares? They could lose 5 in a row. Who cares, right? But it's all about what's going to matter tomorrow. Nothing matters today. It's what's going to matter tomorrow.
If the Avalanche, by some beautiful grace of God, just get to the playoffs and dominate and win the Stanley Cup, is this the most boring year of hockey ever for anyone not living in Colorado?
It's even boring watching it, honestly. Like you can only watch the same game over and over and over.
It won't be boring for me.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I mean, Colorado, I'm loving this.
Me too. I will say this though, no, and I was actually talking about this with one of the student
looking at the
workers that I
scoreboard's
work
not
with.
boring. Actually, having to see it every night is boring.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I don't agree either. But I will say, because we're Buffalo territory up here where I'm at. Fans are getting behind the Sabres. It's exciting. Like, I'm enjoying it. So
Hottest team in the East for sure.
They've
I
been
know.
decent.
It
Should be number one in the power rankings.
It's not. Adrian, watch yourself. This has been a very exciting season all around, and I'm happy about it. It's also just nice and different because you have teams like Florida who are on the outside looking in, Toronto on the outside looking in. Edmonton had their slow start, but now they've kind of rebounded. There's been some good storylines, and the Avs have just been one of them. And I don't think fans are happy or accepting about that, aside from us, of course. And so be it, I guess.
Well, I think that with Buffalo, it was heated rivalry giving them crud that they turned it on. Because they went on like a 9-1 streak after that.
When Evan left town and they started just winning games.
And heated rivalries like, they suck. And
yeah, I'm sure that's what motivated them after 15 years.
And that and that episode, and then they went 9-1 after that, and it's like, Jesus. This was supposed to be taking place like 10 years before that. Come on. So for 10 years,
19-5 since then.
Yeah, that's crazy. Bro.
Beginning of that 9-game winning streak, they're 19-5.
Yeah. Buffalo. I'll say it myself, and this is coming from a Tampa fan who's in the same division. That Buffalo is exciting to watch.
Yeah, but that's also the first time people have said that in like 20 years. So I don't think
they were exciting.
They've been plenty exciting. They just never won. Yeah,
when they were the third highest scoring team, when everybody set all those career highs and everything, like
sometimes they're exciting like a car crash. Sometimes they're exciting like a team that can almost get there. This year feels like maybe they're exciting like a team who can lose in the first round.
What's coincided them with playing better is not having Timmins. Sorry to say.
You said that earlier.
Listen, Buffalo fans get behind their teams. I've seen it with the Bills. I heard it from Bills fans, especially about the Broncos, which RIP.
Hey, if you're listening, it was a catch. Anyway.
No, like it's a good time. This is not the Queen City Hockey Lab, though. This is my
that's not. It's not.
We gotta get back on the ass.
You did mention that you were in the house for the Toronto game, and that's the next thing I want to talk about, just really quick, which is that we are currently presiding in what should be now called Brocky Mountain High Hockey Lab, as Brock Nelson is absolutely on fire. Jackie, are you still concerned that we are running through them faster than we need to as it pertains to Brock Nelson, or does this start to feel sustainable to you? When does it start to feel sustainable?
I mean, I'm never going to say shooting over 20% sustainable for anybody. Obviously he is showing what he does best. So to that extent, I'm not going to say like, oh, it's just completely fake. Like, he's shown in his career he can score goals. So he's doing that. And, that's a good thing. But you look at the shooting percentage, that nobody is going to sustain at that. Like, McKinnon's not sustaining at 30%. He's not sustaining at 30%. So, you hope that he doesn't peak too early, for sure. Because I still don't know that he has a whole lot to fall back on when that stops happening. So, that's another, we'll see.
Is there anything that we're seeing?
Game isn't like,
go ahead, Ezra.
You mean he doesn't have like a fully rounded game to, if the shooting percentage comes down, to still contribute?
He's not a play driver. He's not a playmaker, so he needs to be scoring.
Okay.
So I see what you're saying.
That's who he is. That's
score and be good defensively.
The whole defense thing, this whole team and their metrics, you can't even separate a single person out and say like, oh, this person does this well. Like, the whole team is inflated because of the metrics. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, sure. Everybody's going to be at 60%, and that's going to continue on through June, and that's great. And if it doesn't, we'll see how each individual shakes out if they cannot continue with that. So I don't look at it and be like, oh, he's at 58%, like he's doing great. So is everybody. So what? I don't know that he is going to be driving it defensively when we get into the playoffs, because when they play good teams, that second line still gets. We've seen some ugly ones.
I couldn't agree more with you in terms of like we're gonna see some regression as it pertains to a shooting percentage that's gaudy like that. But at the same time, like if maybe this is wrong, it's kind of just my eye test and recall. But it feels like the reason why his percentage is so high is because a lot of his shots and goals are very high danger, especially like considering the power play, his role on that. And a lot of them have been into yawning nets. We're not seeing him I'll give you the shot off Wall's back the other night as like a shooting talent play. But I don't think like a lot of them are, the typical snipe show where it's like, oh, he could take that shot 10 times and it's probably only going to hit the post and stay in once. Like, I don't feel like that's what I'm watching with Brock Nelson. I feel like I'm watching a guy who is finally getting to what you mentioned, to doing the things that he does best. And I think it's human nature to question yourself when you arrive somewhere new and to kind of focus on maybe the things you don't do well, especially as it pertains to fitting into a new system like Bednar's. And I think maybe that's what we saw. I hope that's what we saw, was just kind of a little bit of an adjustment period and a focus to get in with the Joneses of what the Avalanche do. And now we're starting to see him bring back the things that he does well to accompany that. And I do think that's the correct order of operations. I don't think you show up and you're like, look at all these fancy things I can do. You show up and you buy in, and then you kind of go, and now here's my cherry on the top. Brandon, you look like you had something to say.
No, since you said the shot map, I was looking up on the NHL Edge thing where all his shots are coming from, and they are like that shot zone right outside of high danger,
just barely outside of high danger.
Yeah, so
something the Avs do a lot of high danger.
Well, I can share my screen and show everyone. So
while you're doing that, I want to revisit a conversation that we had about Brock Nelson, and I know Jackie had asked the question of what is a successful season for Brock Nelson points wise. I don't remember what my answer was, but I'm sure I said somewhere around.
Oh, I know what my answer was: 30 goals and 70 points. And I know that he is well on his way to the 30 goals. So, I mean, if he hits that, then yes, that is meeting part of my expectation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if he'll get to, I mean, here's the stat line from NHL.com, just from his page. 50 games played, 27 goals, 18 assists for 45 points. Like, that he is going to hit that 30 goal mark unless something catastrophic happens. The 70 point mark, I mean, I guess he could get it by scoring 40 goals and racking up the assists a little bit. But I mean, I know all of our answers were, I think Jackie's was the highest at 70, but I think all of our answers were somewhere around that 50 to 60, 65 point mark. And I think he's pretty well on his way to doing that, which is good, right? I think that's kind of meeting almost all of our expectations. And I think that that's something that we can look back on and be pretty proud of, I think, all things considered. And I think I know we had talked about his, transition and trying to fit into Bednar's, system and whatnot. And that's now happened, especially in the last month and a half where he's just taken off. And I think, that's something.
I do still think the playmaking needs to come a little bit, which is why I'm still going to stand on that 70, because
he has 45 points though. Like that, I don't know what more you would want out of that. I guess obviously he get to 70 points would be
I mean,
but he's
I mean, you can say whatever you want. Like the shooting percentage is not going to stay. It's just not.
I mean, he's checking all the boxes though. I think
it's not going to stay, but it could I mean, we don't know the future. It could also stay
his
higher.
career
than
is
you,
like
than you
13,
think.
which is,
That's pretty
13
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
is showing shooting talent, and then if he was at 13%, he would be showing shooting talent. But especially on the power play, like that is not going to continue at all.
No, the power plays
He's like 35% on the power play. Like that that part is just not going to continue.
Well, I think if the power play was cooking, it would be higher.
Well, somebody else would be scoring.
But
if the power play actually was functional, McCarr and McKinnon would be scoring on it.
Yeah, but I do think part of why his shooting percentage is so high is what we saw in that chart. Like he is shooting pucks from high danger areas or almost the high danger areas, but also he's not taking a lot of, like on the power play, he doesn't take a lot of shots, but the ones he takes go in because he's the one who's cleaning up, or when a puck is bounced out off a goalie, or he's the one who's getting, like when the defense is all drawn into the left side because that's where McCarr, McKinnon, and Natchez are, and they manage to get a puck through, which is rare these days. But when they manage to get a puck through, Nelson puts it into the net. So it is. There's context to the shooting percentage that makes it seem a little bit more sustainable. But yes, you're absolutely right. It's going to come down. It can't stay up. Yeah, that's just math.
I guess my point is that I'm happy. I'm very satisfied with what Brock Nelson has done, and I don't know. I guess I mean, granted, there is still some gripes, I guess, but like there shouldn't be that many. I think that I think he's in a very good spot. The team is in a very good spot, and I guess if there's only one gripe I can have, it's that I'm sorry I was in the second to last row of Scotiabank Arena, so I couldn't toss my hat out on the ice. That's the only thing I can say about that.
Yeah,
well, I think like everyone, they need to prove it when it matters.
I saw somebody with a Nordiques jersey walk down the row to be sure that their hat got onto the ice in Toronto, which I thought was kind of cool.
Should have done that.
Evan,
from the second to last row of the entire arena, where I couldn't even see the top half of the scoreboard.
I've been there. I know exactly where you probably sat.
I do want to say that the Toronto experience was fun. It was nice to kind of be in like the hockey mecca, I guess, for lack of a better term. The fans were really nice. So that's kind of a hint, I guess, about my upcoming bold prediction that I made last week. And we had a good time and whatnot. And the environment, though, was just really weird. Like, I kind of understand now why Toronto fans are talking about, like, the place feels soulless. Like, it was so quiet the whole time. Bless this one guy who had a drum trying to rile everybody up. He's going around literally every 30 seconds. He's running from section to section and is like, Leafs fans. And then dun, 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 and all that. Or no, he doesn't even do he goes, the Leafs go like that. And bless his soul. But like no one's chanting. The loudest anybody was some guy behind me in the standing room only, literally just like yelling about every bad thing the Leafs did. Like even when they scored in the last minute, he didn't even do anything.
And
there was one guy
below, typical Toronto person,
and the best part was that someone down below me talked back to him, I think when the Avs took a penalty, and was like, he said something about the refs doing a bad job, and I was like, it's your only job. And the guy in front goes, hey, you did a good job now. And the guy behind me was silent. So Toronto was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. Happy I made the trek up, and happy the Avs won.
Heck yeah. Well, let us do that then. Let's get into our bold predictions from last week and give ours now. And then I can let you folks get on with your evening. Let's look, Evan, as you just mentioned, people in Toronto were very kind to you. And your bold prediction was that you would get razzed for your Nordiques jersey, which did not happen. You were just overwhelmed by the suits. The suits environment is what they keep calling it. Yeah.
It's funny that there was one guy at the Hockey Hall of Fame. He was like a group leader with like 30 kids. And all he said to me was, I hope you have a terrible time at the game. That was the only bad thing I heard all day. And we joked about it after. He says, oh, you're fine. You're good. I was like, I know.
Nobody mentioned that they beat us at home.
No. And then the best part of all was on the way out, some guy's like, hell of a jersey, hell of a player. I was like, well, thank you. So
wow, that's
I had McKinnon on the back. So
Oh well, they
Good
love
surprise.
McKinnon
Thank you,
and
Toronto, for the nice surprise. I'll say that.
I wonder if he would have went in a non-Olympic year, how if it would have been different. Because Toronto at the outside looking in, watching Nathan McKinnon is like watching your next hero, play just not for your team. Because Canada's about to go all in on the Olympics, and we all know that.
So I went to Toronto the week after the Girard trade, and I swear I couldn't go more than 15 feet.
Yeah,
because I was wearing just an Avs jacket, and so people would see what do you think about the trade? And it's like it just happened. We don't know what this Girard kid's capable of. So
yeah.
God only knew, right?
God only knew. Well, in the spirit of staying in Toronto, Jackie, you said that Nichushkin would score a goal. He didn't score a goal, but he did have an assist. Yeah. That's kind of at least something in the right direction for Nuke, who had a hat trick and then went silent again for a little bit. So hopefully we can see him.
Yeah, he needs to score.
Yeah, he does. He needs to score bad. We need to see that dominating Val who can drive to the net and no one can stop him kind of style again. And that feels like that's gone away, and so has kind of the X factor-ness that he brings to the table. So hopefully that can turn around. Brandon, you said that Prishopov would get a call-up and that Felleber would score a shorty.
Neither.
Sorry, my friend. Neither of those things happened. Ezra, you said that an elevated or activated defender will score a point immediately tomorrow. That did not happen. I don't even believe they brought anyone up.
Well, it was Jack Ashawn, and he did get a point the next game, but not the one I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got an assist on the Kelly goal.
And I had the Broncos and the Avalanche going undefeated. Let's move on quickly.
I heard it from our one New England fan that I go to school with here. I heard it from him. And I said, I didn't even watch the second half. I was driving through a snowstorm. So,
yeah, it was a sad moment. But you know what? The Broncos will get it again next year. And we still have a chance with the Nuggets and the Avalanche. So that's good.
Already starting to talk Bo Nix wins the Super Bowl if he's healthy. Starting that dialogue.
I love it, baby. Let's get it rolling. Well, let me roll the track and our sponsor, and I will get your guys' bold predictions for this week.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right, so the way that this works is we boldly make predictions, and as you saw just before we rolled the sponsor, we give out dings and buzzers. Ding if you're right, buzzer if you're wrong. This segment is brought to you by Brews Ale House Brewing Company, a restaurant and brewery located in the heart of Pueblo, Colorado, in southern Colorado, on just alongside the historic Pueblo Riverwalk. If you are in southern Colorado, head on over there for some beautiful drinks and beautiful dishes that will accompany your time as you watch the Avalanche and Nuggets down there. It's a really good time. Come on down. Tell them Ado sent you. They might throw water in your face, but they might give you a beer after as well. That'll be fun. But yeah, let's get into this week's version of bold predictions. And since no one got a point, I believe Ezra was the last, or Evan was the last person to get a point. I think it was Evan. Yeah, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start with you, Evan.
I was just putting my hand up because I was ready to go with my bold prediction. And it's one that I should have made the last time the Avs and Senators played, and I was a dum-dum when I didn't, because this is my fun stat whenever the Avs and Sens play, because they're wrapping up their season series.
That's why I give you the Senators game every time.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. So my fun stat whenever these two teams play each other is that in the last 9 games, which dates back to 2021, the Avs and Sens have combined for 85 goals. 85 goals in 9 games. These two never play a normal game against each other. They're averaging almost 10 goals a game. So I think you can kind of see where I'm going with this one. I think that tomorrow night's game, there will be at least 10 goals scored between the two teams.
I love it.
I like it.
Just teams play. For some reason,
crazy stat.
I don't know why. That's just, I know. I love that stat. It's basically, I've kind of claimed it.
Well, Evan vaguely also says it looks like you didn't get beat up in the parking lot by Steve Dangle. So
half the arena was empty because it was snowing. So I did not get beat up by Steve Dangle. There wasn't even really a parking lot. Toronto is weird and cool because they have like all these underground tunnels that connect the city basically when it's cold, and is cool. Yeah, did not see Steve Dangle or producer Drew or anybody like that to beat me up, so I'm okay with that.
Cool. We're good then. But if you ever want it, Steve, don't worry. I can set it up. We'll get Evan in the ring against you. We'll make it happen.
Wait a minute.
Televise it.
Why are we putting my emotions through the ringer in this episode? I don't like this.
All right. Well, at least 10 goals scored for Evan in the Avs and Senators game tomorrow night, which should be a fun one based on that fancy stat you gave us. Jackie, what do you got for me this week?
Is it bold enough to say that Sam Girard will still be on the team? No, not bold enough.
Not
Okay.
quite.
I didn't figure.
I'm going to leave it in the notes, though, just so we can.
Jackie.
What?
You reverse jinxing us right now?
No, to make a real prediction, I'll say that he's going to score a goal.
I love it.
Thank you.
Sam Girard will score a goal if he's not traded. Brandon, what do you got?
I'd even take a goal for the new team.
You guys are gonna hate me for this one. OT against Montreal, and it's gonna be Cole Caulfield on the win.
Caulfield on the win.
That's very
specific.
Well, I hate to say how realistic that could be because
because he's like the OT freaking hero for Montreal.
Yeah. And like every Habs game, I feel like goes to overtime, and it's the second leg of a back-to-back, so I could very well see that happening.
I like it. I dig it. Ezra, what do you got for me?
I also want to look at recent trends with these Ottawa games, and there always seems to be a little bit of fisticuffs. I think that's why Keaton Middleton was called up. I think he gets in a fight.
Hell yeah.
So everything Brendan praised him for goes right out the window.
Yeah.
At the NHL level, he's got one job.
I'm gonna do you one better in terms of Keaton Middleton and what you just said, Evan. And I'm gonna say that Keaton Middleton is penalized on his first shift.
Okay.
Wow.
I could also see that happening.
out of the gates, he fights Tyler Clevin again.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Manson last game, but yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say he is going to behave because it's his first game up this year. So
not if somebody gets hit in front of him.
Well, but you get my point.
Looking at you, Brady.
Yeah.
Who I think is
unless Big Ear Boy tries to throw fisticuffs on anyone.
Yeah.
No, he's still got that hand thing. He can't.
Crazy, or is Curtis McDermott on the Senators, or is he on a different East Coast team now?
No, he's still on the Senators because
I want to say, is he hurt?
Yeah, my friend who is totally obsessed with Curtis McDermott, to the point she's got like a tattoo of him.
Oh my gosh!
Hell yeah!
Is it in the shape of a nacho?
I think he's just like a healthy scratch a lot.
Hasn't played since December 29th.
But he is in Ottawa. I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, he's in Ottawa.
Yeah, he was traded for McEwen, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in Ottawa. He's just a healthy scratch. He's like one of he's their extra like forward D-man type thing.
Well, there you have it. We got 10 goals tomorrow night. That would be hilarious. Evan, what a ding that will be. Sam Girard will still be on the team and will score a goal. Brandon says that the Montreal game will go to overtime, and unfortunately, the Avs will lose at the hands of Cole Caulfield. Ezra says that Keaton Middleton will get in a fight, and I say that fight probably happens on his first shift, and or he trips someone within 10 seconds of being on the ice as well.
For giraffe.
I think that's going to do it for us today on this 127th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. Thank you folks so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share with your fellow hockey and Avalanche fans. Head on over to the website milehighhockey.com to find all of our written material. We did do an article, of course, was Sam Malinski inking a 4x4.75 million contract to remain a Colorado Avalanche through the 2029 and 30 season. Big news for the Avs, who are doing a bit of business on their back end as of late. We also saw Gabe Landeskog back on the ice for the first time today with some hard-hitting reporting from Mark Mosier, who used his iPhone notepad to draw an arrow to Gabe Landeskog and said, "This is Gabe," which was hilarious. So that's good news. And of course, as we mentioned, the Avs play tomorrow night. So, folks, thank you for tuning in. On behalf of my colleagues Ezra Parter, Brendan Vogt, Jackie K, and Evan Liu, my name is Adrian Hernandez. And until next time, would you please go Avalanche?
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.